morning, you strange and wonderful weirdos. I'm John.
And I'm Stacey.
It's Thursday, October 27th. And here's why. Today is strange.
All right, so let's start off with a story from New Zealand. This is about a 23 million year old fossil.
Pretty old fossil.
It is. Somebody stole it. Yes, so the authorities are investigating.
They stole it now or 23 million?
No, they stole it now. I don't think we would know if they stole it 23 million years ago.
Really good story.
A locally treasured whale fossil estimated to be 23 million years old that used to sit at the mouth of the Little Wanganui River.
Really?
Yes.
That
now,
Little Wanganui River.
All the locals know about it. It's, like a local treasure. They would visit it. They take their kids to see it. It's a thing. You have to get there by boat. And the other day, some locals noticed a man and two women in a boat with chisels and saws taking it out of the ground. So they were confronted, and the people that were taking it promised that they had permission to remove it. So, of course, the locals called the authorities. There was no permission given to anyone. So now they're trying to investigate and figure out who stole the fossil and took it away.
What do you think they're doing with a 23 million year old whale fossil?
I don't know. It's obviously quite large because it had to be chiseled with saws to get it out of the ground. So now they're...
well of a mystery.
They're having to investigate because technically you can collect fossils. It's not against the law. However, because they had to go to such extent, perhaps it is against the law for using the equipment on the beach.
They don't know if it's against the law?
They don't really know. Well, it says that fossils fell under the Protected Objects Act of 1975, that only controls the export of objects, not the collection. People walk on the beach all the time, pick up rocks and stones and fossils and take them, and that's fine. I feel like the most they could get is maybe they didn't have a permit for using the heavy equipment.
Yeah.
And it just sucks. I mean, there's no reason to take it. I guess the only thing to do now is to look for the listings of the New Zealand ancient whale fossil black market. Might narrow it down a little.
Pretty hot. I'm sure there's a sub for it on Reddit.
Possibly.
Those whale fossil collectors are a wild bunch.
All right. So if you have any information about the New Zealand whale fossil,
call Officer Jabberjaw. Is Jabberjaw a whale or is he a big shark?
He's a shark, I think. I think he was a shark.
I think of him as a whale because he's so big.
And he's blue.
And he barely fits in that little dune buggy.
I hate it when you can't fit your shark in the dune buggy.
I know.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. Let's talk about Ron Smith.
Ron Smith.
Ron Smith is an attorney from Florida. And
I'm afraid I was supposed to know who that was for a second. Sounds very common, doesn't it?
He was one of the attorneys who fought for years to help overturn Florida's helmet law. He's a biker, and he would represent clients.
Is
he? Yeah, he was.
I was figuring biker or Viking.
He was one of the attorneys that helped customers, when they went against the laws. He would help them get out of it. And he worked tirelessly to give bikers a choice on whether or not they wanted to wear a helmet. So in 2000, eventually, the Florida legislature passed a law that allowed motorcyclists over 21 to go without a helmet as long as they had $10,000 in insurance coverage for motorcycle accident injuries. And Ron Smith was very instrumental in this happening. So very recently, him and his girlfriend were on their motorcycle.
Oh, no, Stacey.
And they were going to...
Stacey.
A funeral for a friend who died of cancer, and they had an accident, and they both died. And they were not wearing helmets.
They got thrown from their bike. And
they did. Now, they did say that, that doesn't prove that if they had been wearing helmets, they wouldn't have died, but both of their causes of death was blunt force trauma to the head. So the attorney who turned over the helmet law died in a motorcycle accident because he wasn't wearing a helmet.
Okay, look. So, in fairness.
Right.
If you're on one of these crotch rockets.
Right.
And you're going 110 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And you hit a turtle.
Right.
And you fly off the bike.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're wearing a bleeding 4-pound helmet with little drinks on it and a horn and freaking night vision goggles.
Right.
You're probably either going to have the splat or you're going to hit and it's going to like crack your neck or something. I mean,
right. Well, that's what they said. They said they weren't sure, they couldn't say for sure that
the helmet,
it would have prevented it.
The helmet could probably prevent like falling over on your bike before you take off.
Blunt force head trauma.
But I'm not sure how much anything's going to help you on it.
This is true.
I mean,
now they weren't being reckless or anything. They were, like I said, going to a funeral, and he just tried to slow for traffic. Apparently, I guess he didn't slow fast enough, and
I like
had
the
an
states
accident.
that we've lived in where people don't have to wear helmets. It makes the motorcycle clubs like more exciting.
Makes them look more dangerous.
Yeah, I like watching them drive by, and you get to see their faces. And
Wouldn't you get like bugs in your face though? Like when you're riding and there's no thing in front of your face?
You don't care about bugs when you're in a motorcycle club.
I guess not.
You get your patch. You don't worry about bugs.
Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm not
Good
part of a
Lord.
motorcycle club.
Yeah, man, it's you and the road.
The wind through your teeth or whatever.
Bugs are scared to get in your teeth.
All right, let's move on to a story from Tennessee. This is from Chattanooga. And this is just a little snippet in the paper from a police blotter about a woman who had to call the police because she discovered a creepy clown doll that had been left on her doorstep by a mysterious stranger. And attached to the toy was a note, very ominous note. And the note said, "Neighbor, he is your problem now. I am sorry, I can't do this anymore." That's all it said.
No.
Yeah, that's all it said. It was very creepy. There was no picture of it, but she didn't want to bring the doll in the house.
No.
Obviously. So she called the police and had them come, and the Chattanooga police showed up. They took it away without further incident. So I guess we can assume that there's just a creepy clown doll in lockup at the Chattanooga Police Department now in their evidence place or wherever they keep that stuff.
No.
I wouldn't take it inside either.
What? No. That's terrible.
Yes. So I don't know. Maybe it was just a prank. It's almost Halloween.
That's not a prank. That deserves jail time.
Could be a haunted clown doll.
Creepy don't be bringing me your. I mean, oh no. I mean, look, if you've got a possessed clown, Furby.
We have a couple of those.
Freaking Pee Me Pollyanna, whatever from the 70s.
The laughing one that rocks.
Listen to Remco's Baby Laugh a Lot.
Yeah.
That was
a bad
creepy.
one.
Yeah.
That's a bad one. No. You know what, though? When you said Chattanooga, I always wanted to see Chattanooga when I was a kid, right? Because Chattanooga choo-choo,
right,
and all this stuff. I had this big vision in my head. You've heard my kids' stories, right? My vision of things was always, much grander than what they end up being,
right?
Causing Little John much disappointment. Sea monkeys, but. I was really excited about going to see the Chattanooga choo-choo. That's all I wanted to see the whole way down. Like, okay, we wait to see the Chattanooga choo-choo.
Right.
And we go down there, and if I remember correctly, there was something there, like is that where Stone Mountain is? Is it right across from like Stone Mountain, Georgia? And
maybe. I've not been down there but one time.
Anyway, I remember going to Chattanooga. Do you know what my memory of Chattanooga was? And now you got to think this when I was a kid, but
right.
What there was an overabundance of in Chattanooga.
What?
Triple X movie theaters.
Oh, wow. So that's what you remember.
Oh, yeah.
So who needs to see the Chattanooga choo-choo?
No, I remember. You don't understand. It was like a whole row of them, like in like a downtown area.
How do they all compete? They're all right there next to each other.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe you need that many?
Maybe you need that many. I just remember. No, there's probably 3. I was a kid.
Right.
But... it always was weird to me, like the Triple X movie theaters, because of the names, right? It always is like...
Do you need more than one X in a rating? Really?
Well, for some of these names you did. Like, Sally and the sorted, sauntering succotashes. I don't know.
I feel like one X is sufficient. If there's an X on it, expect to see...
Is there a double X rating?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a single X or a double X. They went from R straight to triple X.
There is X rated.
Is there? Oh, that's true.
And there is triple X. I don't know if there's a double X.
I don't know either.
Like, what would be what would be worse than X?
But not as bad.
But not as bad as triple X.
I have no idea. Sorry, I don't classify my porn so delicately.
This is something I need to know.
Okay. I need research subject.
I need to know double X.
Okay.
Like, what could that be?
I have no idea. Asking the real questions. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Grand Canyon caverns.
Triple X.
So recently, a group of tourists were stuck for over 30 hours in the Grand Canyon caverns when the elevator went out.
There's an elevator.
Yeah, because they're caverns, like Bristol caverns, like...
I know. You talk about that small little cavern quite often, but yes, I know what a cavern is.
Just so you know what it was.
I know what a cavern is.
Apparently there's an elevator to get in and out of the cavern.
Not many of them have elevators.
And it broke. And there were 8 people down there, like families, kids and stuff. And 4 of them were able to climb out of the emergency stairs. It was 200 feet, over 200 feet up. And you'd have to climb all those stairs.
That's why there's an elevator.
But 3 of them were not able to climb the stairs. And with the elevator broken, they were not able to get out. Now, one gentleman was the husband of one of the women that couldn't climb the stairs. And he stayed down there with her because, it was his wife. And he probably would have not lived that down had he got out. So they had to stay down there overnight until a rescue operation could use pulleys and ropes and lift them out of the elevator shaft, which I think sounds scarier. I think I would have opted for the stairs. Now, it sounds a lot worse than it is, but there is actually a hotel suite down there in the cavern that they got to stay in.
I mean, that doesn't sound bad at all.
It doesn't really sound bad at all, except it is still, you're in a cave for a long time. In fact, those things are kind of creepy.
In fact, I might go down there and pretend I'm stuck.
Somebody break the elevator. Yeah. Oh no, the elevator's broken. I'll just stay in this luxury hotel suite.
Stay in this luxury hotel away from the kids. Oh God. Help.
Nobody was injured, but it was just...
Look, they got free double X movies there.
There you go. Oh, I can't imagine being stuck down there though all night. Because you know how creepy those things feel anyway. Caves.
Yes.
Things.
Yes.
So having to stay all night, I mean, that's a hotel room. They even tell you it's not for everyone. If you want to book it, it's hard to book, but it's not for everyone. You have to be able to be in that environment, closed in. The walls are kind of close for the whole time.
I mean, at least you don't have to worry about whether or not the temperature, right? I mean, because it's always like 63 or something. So.
That's true. As long as they don't turn the lights off, because it's really dark.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that'd be the cool part. And I mean... I think it'd be awesome. I always want to stay in that ice one, that ice hotel.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
The only ones I don't want to stay in.
It's like Norway, isn't it?
Something like that. I don't want to stay in the ones that are underwater. No underwater hotel rooms.
Right.
Mm-mm. All right. So let's move on and talk about a metal detectorist from the UK.
Metal detectorist.
A metal detectorist triumphantly returned a long-lost wedding band that he found on the beach. And his name's Steve Andrews. He's the operator of Jersey Lost Rings Metal Detecting. And he found the ring on St. Albans Beach back in September. And he wanted to, every time he finds a piece of jewelry, he always likes to return it to its rightful owner. So he posted some pictures. He put out a description of it. He said that the hallmark on the ring.
It's got a hole in it, and it's gold.
The hallmark on the ring was from 1989.
Yay big.
It was just a gold wedding band. And it had tons of shares on social media. So a few days later, he found the owner. And she told him to take that ring and throw it back into the water. So he agreed to throw it back in when he went back down. Apparently,
I'm not sure you should ever return wedding bands.
She went through a nasty divorce and they chucked it. So hopefully it's not cursed. And he promised he would take it back and return it to the water.
Yeah.
He said normally his recoveries end a little more joyfully than that. She was kind of nice about it, but she was kind of like, don't bring me that. I got rid of it for a reason.
I mean,
I don't want that.
Kind of a little ritual. It's a nice feeling when you can actually chuck the ring, from what I hear.
That's how you get haunted objects. Cursed objects. More like cursed objects for that.
Yes, marriage. You are correct.
That's not what I meant.
Oh.
All right, let's move on. Last story.
Okay.
Let's talk about a new project from a Belgian nonprofit called Apopo. APOPO. That's the name of the nonprofit. They train animals to save lives. So what they're working on now is outfitting rats with tiny backpacks, and they could soon save the lives of earthquake survivors. Yes, so this company, they work with rats a lot. They have rats that currently sniff out landmines.
Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
If
Go ahead.
if I'm in a effing earthquake.
In a collapsed building?
In a collapsed building. And I'm laying there and I can't move my damn legs.
Right.
And I'm freaking out, right? I'm freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hurt.
Right.
And I'm trying to get help. Help. I wish I was in that cave so they could echo me, you know?
Right.
Wish I had a double X movie right now.
Right.
That kind of thing. The last thing that I want is a rodent
with a backpack.
I don't care if it's a rat, a mouse, a squirrel, a hamster, a guinea pig.
So these rats are fairly decent size. They're pretty big, and they have little backpacks on, and they're trained to sniff you out. And then
just because you say little backpack and it's all cute in your head doesn't make it cute.
It's cute in the picture.
It's a rat.
When they find you, they push a little button on their backpack. And then it puts off a beacon so that people can find you. And then they run back to their handler and get a treat for finding you. And they're developing the backpack still. They're putting cameras on it so they can see where the rat's running. And they're hoping to eventually include a two-way radio so you could talk to the victim. I don't know if you pick the rat up and use it like a walkie-talkie. I have no idea how that works. But I'm kind of feeling like the last thing you want to see is a humongous rat running right up to you when you're trapped in rubble, but it could save lives. It is a good idea. They have a great sense of smell. They can get in those little spaces. They're very adventurous. Right now, they do sniff out landmines, and they sniff samples in the lab to figure out which ones have tuberculosis.
The landmines?
No, it's two separate rats. One's a landmine rat. One's a TB sniffing rat.
I didn't know landmines got tuberculosis.
That would be awful. It is a very contagious disease.
Yeah.
So the rats do good. You can go to the website. You can adopt a rat and support their cause. And
it's
now,
a racket.
Now
it's
they want
racket.
to.
You know that the vultures are going to get wind of this and just be like, hey, Popo. You know, us vultures can also save people.
Right. Just let us in there.
Why don't you let us go find some people that, lost in the desert. Last GPS location will work just fine. Me and my vulture buddies here, we like to help them. We don't want the cameras, though. No cameras.
No. We'll just go find the people.
Makes us feel weird. Hopefully when we find them, they've not been eaten or anything by those rats. I don't know, man. I don't want it. Listen, I mean this, Popo. I mean this, people. First responders, respect you so much. Thanks for all you do. Listen, let me die. I don't care if you hear me screaming for weeks.
Forget about the little beacon. As soon as that rat ran in and got on you, you'd scream loud enough they could find you.
I hate rodents. It's a lifelong thing. I think that maybe I was, a survivor of the plague at some point, or, something like that.
Maybe.
Like that story I read the other day about people that, were in the plague and stuff.
It changed their immune system.
Most of them have like body pain and all this stuff now. It's like awesome. Listen, no rats. But I'm also going to tell you something else. We always talk about UFO Twitter. We talk about UFO this, UFO that.
Right.
And we talk about lately there's been a lot of chatter, a lot of chit chat.
Yes.
I really believe this, okay? Had a little thinking today. Dangerous, I know. But a little thinking going on. I believe that we're definitely very close to something crazy being discovered or said or released. I'll just say it like it is. Released.
Released. Mm-hmm.
I still don't believe it, though. Like, I don't think it's going to be something they actually find or legitimately discover.
Just something that they're going to say they did.
Because they've known forever.
Oh, one of those, huh?
I think that it's, one of those times that we're going to get something like, I don't know, just before elections or,
right. On a non-news cycle day. Like,
maybe.
Like a Friday.
Maybe
or
like a Friday
weekend or something.
Like a Friday afternoon or something.
Right. Drop a bombshell and let it go to the...
If they're going to do it, it's going to be now.
Right.
It's going to be very soon.
Right.
But do you guys not feel it coming? Do you not see like all these channels and
they're all doing the stories. The NASA team now. NASA's got now they have a team.
The big NASA team and people that always like scoffed at it and ha ha ha. They always had their
They put
things.
the tinfoil hats on and the X-Files music.
Right. The news channels always had the X-Files music, and they're not doing that now. Even the news people. I was watching the news and they were just like, kind of funny we're not playing the funny music. It's like even they're wondering what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time it makes it to them, you know how that cycle goes.
Right.
They all get sent the same stories and they put their own little flavor on it. I don't know, man. It's really weird to me. It's creeping me out, man. Mm-hmm. It's really creeping me out.
Me too.
There's something coming.
Mm-hmm. Soon.
That's why today is strange.